ways of doing it. The thing I don't like about it is that when it's really needing to run, you're essentially drawing 10 kilowatts off your generation just to run the compressor.
Right.
And plus all the maintenance and stuff. And then there's times when it gets so dirty that it can't keep up. Like there's so much debris coming down the stream that it actually, there's what happens is you actually get air induced into the cylinders, and then the air burst just doesn't clean at all.
Right, it's just cavitating at that point.
Yeah, it's just blowing air into air. It doesn't really clean.
I can't think of anything more rewarding than having to come out here at 3 a.m. and clean these things.
No, that's it. That's one of the fun parts of this project is being out, keeping the power flowing. And there's a company out of Sacramento that makes these pretty cool rotating brush screens. So it's like 2 vertical brushes, or 3, I can't remember what their system is. It's either 2 opposite each other or a triangle, and they rotate around with a hydraulically driven pump. And what that does, that appeals to me, is it actually, like a lot of the stuff we fight is like the grass and the leaves. And so the air cleaning system, my problem with it is like it blows it off, and you'll see when the screens fire, there'll be like a big cloud of debris in the water, but like it'll blow it off of that one, and then it'll float down and get stuck on one of these, because sometimes, if you're running at maximum capacity and there's only 5 CFS going by, like say the creek's at 111 CFS, you've got 5 CFS going over the spillway, and you've got 100 CFS going through these tubes. So most everything is going through the screens.
Right.
So you're recycling a lot of your problem, whereas the brushes kind of digest it. Like they would grind the soggy leaves into pulp, and then they could go through. And then I just got back from Hydrovision, which is this big hydropower conference, and there was a group that made a presentation there with their new electronic fish deterrent system, where they basically just run these cables, like you would just eliminate the screens, or like get screens that were the size of, like get way bigger screens, big enough to screen out what you don't want to hit the turbine, but those are sized for fish. That's why they're so tight, such a tight matrix. You could have screens that size, that would virtually never plug up, because they would plug up, only in like that 20-year storm or whatever. And what you could do then is just run electrodes, like hang electrodes off a armature in the water, and that would the electronic frequency deters the fish. So that's pretty cool.
Looks like some of them are open in the top and some of them aren't. See, when I first saw this place, I thought all the water entered the top where that grate is. It just looked like gray plastic cylinders in the photos.
Yeah. No, those are they're like cleaning ports, really. And what I'll do is like run them, I leave them closed most of the time, but if it's really flooding, I'll just open those up, because that some of the debris can go through those. And then also, like when it's flooding, there's no fish, they're all hunkered down at the bottom, and that's right at the top, so it's only like good when the water's real muddy. Fish ladders, high Alaskan bypass ladder or something. It's a cheap angle in most of the fish ladders around Northern California, but proving to work, so I don't mind. The water gets forced down by those things and then returns up the middle. So, like, you can put like a stick or something in the middle, and instead of like just rushing down, it kind of like floats down because the return current at the bottom. Pretty cool. This due for a new paint job. I'm not gonna get to it this summer.
Yeah, who picked the blue?
I don't know. I think Ron picked it, and I don't know if they were having a sale or what.
That's one of the first things that someone says when I show them this place is, "Who picked that blue?"
Yeah, I think it was like his company color. He had this engineering company.
Right. Oh man.
Now this is another thing you got to pay attention to too. This is the transducers in here for the water level for the reservoir.
Right.
And sometimes if it's been real silty, there's an air line that comes up through here. You have to drain. There'll be mud in there, so you periodically, like if you're coming up here to do maintenance, just like open this valve when there's water behind the reservoir. It comes out of here a little more aggressively, but just drain that every month or so.
Okay.
Oh, and let me go show you about the valves in the.
The sauna.
I know. We can go hang out in the cabin.
This room particularly gets very hot.
There's the cover for the penstock.
Oh, okay.
Down there. So these are the controls to the air cleaning system.
So many relays.
This could be all
Oh,
replaced with little PLC.
Yeah.
This was, I can't remember it was some former operator. Like he basically just sat up in the cabin one winter and put this thing together.
It's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I really like.
I mean, I've only had it not work one time in the last 3 years, so
It's awesome.
It definitely functions. You can set the time here, and then these adjust all the timing of the duration of the blast. Because these are all valves that are pressure regulated, so there's pressure on it, it's closed, and then it's lets off the pressure for just a second. And we're having trouble with this one. I rebuilt it last year. I don't know what's going on. It might need to be, the whole thing might need to be replaced. But these are the rebuild kits, and basically they're just new gaskets
Okay,
and
it's just
seals. That
diaphragm.
yeah, the diaphragms wear out. What I think happened to that one is yeah, see there was like a damage, like a bubble inside, like it was coming unlaminated.
Oh, I see.
And what I think actually happened is we put this thing in here to try and so water sometimes comes down the transducer line, and you got to drain this periodically too to so that water doesn't flow back down into this tank.
Okay.
And what had happened is water, we lost pressure and forgot to shut the valve off, like here. So water had come down into the tank and then had flown through and gotten in a tube and come down the tube and was sitting on top of the diaphragm,
okay.
and I think it froze.
I
So
gotcha.
that's what I think caused that one to fail. Yeah, there's the roller to apply the lubricant to the
Oh, okay.
gate. What else is there? You'll get pretty handy at changing those. Yeah, that's the instructions for replacing the diaphragm.
Interesting.
And then there's the rake for cleaning the...
Yeah, he's telling us about the different designs that he came up with.
Yeah. Should make an official rake. Like I think an aluminum piece of channel or something bent would be the best. And this is the Russian cycloptic dam. They build a lot of dams in Russia like this, where they bring in a load of boulders, lay them out across the creek, grout in between them, bring in another layer of boulders, and then grout in between them, and just kind of build it up. I always thought if you had the money, it'd be fun to build like a series of pool, like make it a landscape feature. You know, build a pool there, so then you could. I like to kayak, so you could kayak through the drops. Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's a lot of fun, and you can't like go to school and learn how to do this, you know. So this is a great project to like get your hands dirty and educate yourself on energy production.
Have you ever thought about ways to produce electricity here during the summer?
Well, solar is a natural fit because you've already got the interconnection agreement. You're already capable of producing, you know, like you're already licensed to put 400 kilowatts online.
Right.
Through the power purchase agreement, so you could easily come online with like a 100 or 200 kilowatt solar array, and the solar arrays are they pay so much more for the solar energy.
Right, because it's officially recognized as sustainable.
Yeah, renewable. So, go figure. But
I know, right?
no, and that's actually changing. That was the latest from the Hydrovision conference.
Oh, really?
It's slow, but
That's awesome.
they're finally starting to recognize hydropower as a non-carbon.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, funny in Colorado, like where I live, the utility won't pay anything for solar, but they'll pay a ton for hydro.
What?
Because they want more hydro on their grid because it's way more consistent than solar. Like they just see solar as a liability because for every megawatt of solar you have on your system, you got to have a megawatt of gas or coal or something to back it up, because what'll happen is, you know, clouds come over a big array and it's like a motor, but the opposite, it just drops offline. So instead of a demand charge for turning on a motor, there's a demand charge from everybody else, like wanting the electricity that's not there.
Right.
So it's definitely not a perfect solution. That's why I got interested in hydro.
It's kind of a crazy idea. Probably not very feasible, but I was thinking about ways to keep the generator that's already in there spinning during the summer by installing passive solar arrays to superheat oil and then converting that to steam energy and then using a big ass old steam engine or turbine somehow connected to that old thing to keep it going.
So wait, you'd heat oil?
That's the way I've seen it done conventionally, gathering thermal energy from the sun with a solar array to convert to steam.
Yeah, I saw it was molten salt
Yeah, that's another way to do it.
array. It was like in a test station in Washington. They had a molten salt, like a concentrated solar thing that sent molten salt down into a big tank in the ground, and they ran a steam turbine off it.
The trouble is getting a steam turbine reduced down to 180 RPM.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue there, I think. But if you could find a piston steam engine, you might be in business.
Yeah.
It's kind of a crazy, weird idea. There's a 40-acre parcel just north of the last one. Like this property makes up 2 of those little 40-acre squares.
Yeah.
And then there's one right up here that's south-facing up on that hill that I think would be perfect to put that up. Also thought about maybe a wind turbine on Arbuckle Mountain at the top.
Yeah, I know that the guys who own both those lots up on top, and that'd actually be good if you could get them to tie into the line, because then when you go to the more customers you can have on this line when you go to renegotiate your power purchase agreement, the better off you'll be, because they're essentially cards in your hand. You're providing PG&E with additional customers.
Right.
So you'll have more bargaining power the more infrastructure you have on the line.
So you're not really dealing with customers directly. You're just showing them, hey, there's business out here.
Yeah.
You want to come put your name on it.
Well, and that's the thing, is like right now, when the project was developed and the original power purchase agreement was signed, there was no customers on the line. So that's why you have that special facilities charge. But now there's this cabin, Daryl Deaton, and in that house on the road in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 3 customers that PG&E bills every month, just like they're their customers.
Right. They're on your line.
But they're on your line. So what I would propose, you know, if I was going into negotiations with them, is that they either buy the line from you in the next negotiations, or they waive the facilities charge and give you a, you know, some sort of rebate for maintaining the line to their customers.
That would make sense. Because now it's just not this turbine on the line, it's other people.
Yeah, I mean, you can see why they did it initially. They're like, well, we're not going to pay for a line so that we can buy power from you.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, there's more and more people all the time, and I think, you know, this is still a really remote part of California, but it's definitely not getting any less populated.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, just since I've been here, there's been like 4 cabins built up on Arbuckle Mountain. A ton of greenhouses.
Another thing I was thinking about is at our house we have 2 radio tower masts behind our house, because the previous owner of our house was into ham radio and spying on the government, and I'm sort of into ham radio too, and I think Arbuckle Mountain would be a great place to set up a little repeater site. And I actually talked to a network system engineer, and he reviewed. Basically, what I'm proposing is throwing a radio tower up on Arbuckle Mountain and then having a microwave point-to-point link from there into the valley where Redding is, and then you could pull high-speed 20 megabits per second internet up to that mountain, and then anyone in the area could then. You could become the internet service provider for them.
Man, that'd be fantastic. Because that's.
It's so doable. It's not expensive at all either. The biggest hurdle is the negotiations with the tower that's down in Redding. Because there's a couple different sites. There's a company called American Tower who buys up all kinds of old towers and has facilities of their own. And basically they rent tower space to people, so if they want to throw an antenna up on their tower, you just, pay them a fee, and, the radio tower down there has, fiber internet connection or whatever, and you can just...
That'd be sick. Yeah, and that'd be awesome too for, like, you could totally automate the plant and have the boat start, and you can even have like video.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and
totally.
See what's going on.
That's something I really want to do is put cameras up. That would be really, really, really cool. You could be anywhere with your smartphone and.
Yeah. Yeah, my friend Eric has a power plant, like a 800 kilowatt one, and he just has like cameras on the ceiling looking at his control panel, so he can get online and.
That's awesome.
Read all his controls.
That's really cool.
It's sweet. And he's traveling all the time, so he's got operators hired. And they're doing what they're saying they're doing. Well, yeah, if you get serious about that, I'm good buddies with one of the guys that owns the parcel on top of the mountain. So.
Yeah, I figured it wouldn't be very difficult to arrange that. And yeah, if I do end up operating this place, that is something I am going to do for sure.
It would make this place so much more valuable too. Like, we had the first winter on the project, I rented this cabin all winter, and we had dial-up here, but it was like it wouldn't even, like we'd try and hook up to the plant and we'd get dropped off like half the time.
From here to there.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just the phone.
That's a
the
joke.
Phone lines out here are a mess. Like I've had nothing but trouble with the. They hadn't grounded the line out here.
How much did it cost you to rent the cabin for a whole winter?
What was he doing? It's like $400 a month or utilities. It's not very rentable.
Yeah, no. It's not a very rentable cabin.
Did Dan show you in the cabin?
I've seen upstairs, but I didn't see
Okay.
this little